Hello everyone, back tuning into today's second video. We're going to have a look at weather for the next week to 10 days. So today's second video about takes around 21st of October, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the extended GFS and ECM ensembles going on to around a couple of weeks. Have a look at the CFSV2 for November. Towards the end of the video, and at the very end there's going to be something for something about winter. Had to have one of the long range models updated, so I'll bring you that at the end of the video. So first thing I've got to say though is that JMA Friday has been released. That's your month ahead look at. It's taking us into first week of November with the Japanese and CFSV2 models. It's looking rather unsettled for the rest of October, I have to say. We may be seeing hints of a bit of higher pressure later in the month, but overall it looks like the Atlantic is in control. Have a look at JMA Friday, see what's going on there when you're done with this video. Now, before I do anything else, I'm going to say a big thank you to our latest patron. So we are now up to 63 patrons. Hello, and a big thank you to our 63 patrons. Hope you're enjoying the content and the videos and all of the written posts and everything else. So I've got to say a big thank you, though, to Tom Telford. Tom Telford has become our 63rd patron. So a big thank you, Tom, for doing that. Thank you so much for becoming a patron for Gaz Office. If you would like to become a patron of Gaz Office, all you need to do is come to the Gaz Office Patreon page, sign up for a Patreon account, assuming you don't already have one, and being given an ongoing monthly donation from anything from $1 a month upwards to Gaz Office. You pull in with all of the other patrons, and that is how you become a patron for Gaz Worthy. So big thank you to everyone for doing that. Big thank you to all of our patrons. Alternatively, of course, you can give a one-off donation through PayPal. So this is the Gaz Worthy's paypal.me page. So this is really simple. You just come here, sign into your PayPal account, and then give a donation to Gaz Worthy. It could be anything that you would like to donate at all. So that's absolutely fantastic. And a big thank you to all of our patrons for doing that. When you do it through Patreon or PayPal, you're going to get a mention in videos where you shout out and say thank you so much for doing that. As long as you want one, if you'd rather stay anonymous, then just leave a little note with your donation, or when you sign up to Patreon, leave a little message for me and tell me that you'd rather stay anonymous or something, then we'll do that. So that's absolutely fine, no problem at all with that. And of course, you might want to mention for your business or for your website, so we're happy to go there and give that a plug. So it really is exactly how you would like mention within the videos. It's up to you, and we're very happy to follow your wishes. So a big thank you to all of our patrons, a big thank you to all of our donors, and a special thank you to latest patron Tom Telford. Big thank you, Tom, for doing that. Right, let's get on with it then. I'm going to start off in the Atlantic. Now, I have got a disturbance area very long way north compared to where we would normally get disturbance areas. So normally we'd be looking at that sort of area around there to get tropical storms and hurricanes, that sort of thing. Whereas we've actually got an orange X up here, long way north in the middle of the, well, not in the middle of the North Atlantic, but in the North Atlantic. So it's disturbance 1. It's a 60% chance of cyclone formation in the next 48 hours. Updated 8:30 a.m. National Hurricane Center are saying early morning visible satellite imagery indicates that shower and thunderstorm activity has continued to become better organized near the center of a low pressure system located about 200 miles south-southwest of Martha's Vineyard. If this trend continues, advisories will likely be issued for this system as a subtropical storm later this morning. Upper level winds are expected to increase over the system during the weekend, while the low weakens and moves away from the northeastern United States. This low is already producing storm force winds and is expected to continue meandering off the coast through tonight, producing strong winds, coastal flooding, heavy rainfall and rough surf along portions of the mid-Atlantic and northeastern United States coast. Additional information on this system can be found in local products and high seas forecasts issued by the National Weather Service. It's got a 60% chance of becoming a named storm, a cyclone, in the next 28 hours, and a 6% chance in the next 5 days as well. Though they are saying over the weekend it's likely to weaken, so if it is going to become like a subtropical storm, it will have to do so in the next few hours, I would have thought, because by the weekend upper level winds are not going to be conducive. So that might be a subtropical storm later on this afternoon. We shall see about that. Coming back closer to home, these are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. In Sheffield with these today, so red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Sheffield. And we're quite close to average at the moment. You can go a bit cooler over the weekend, actually. It's going to be a rather cool weekend coming up. Bit of a tick up there early next week, and then quite cool again. And there's no particular sign that we're going either warmer or particularly cooler than average. It looks like we're keeping these ensemble lines very close to average until we get into the final week of October. Then there might be a little bit of a warming trend. Incidentally, we had our first proper sort of cold outlier GFS run of the season of winter, autumn-winter season this morning. I'll show you that in a second. With this ensemble, what is very clear is that it's staying unsettled, regular and really quite big rainfall spikes throughout, telling us there's going to be plenty more rain coming up. Now, if I flip over to the midnight GFS ensemble run, you will see that we've got this green line here breaking away from all the other ensemble members. That is the midnight operational GFS run. The thick green line on this chart is depicting the operational GFS run. And you see how that broke away from all of these other ensemble members which were up here. And that's the cold outlier that I was just talking about. That's the first one of the season. We always get cold outliers with these models, of course, of going to the winter. They very rarely sort of verify. Do get them quite regularly, but they very rarely verify. And we've had our first one, which I will talk you through actually in a moment. Temperature anomalies from the 11th to the 19th of October. Again, it's the same story as it's been all week, really. For England and Wales, it's ever so slightly above average. For Scotland and Northern Ireland, it's ever so slightly below average. It's not a big deviation either way. Precipitation anomalies, again, same story as we've had all week. Generally a bit wetter than average, especially so for England and Wales. Right, this is that midnight GFS run then. So we're starting on Monday the 14th of October, and we look unsettled. Low pressure is both to west and to the south of us. Into next week, it stays unsettled. Low pressure continuing to drive in from off the Atlantic. This is a week's time, Friday 18th of October. Low pressure is heading in from the Atlantic Ocean, bringing showers, if not longer spells of rain. As we run up towards day 10, we bring this area of low pressure right in over top of the country. And you'll notice to the north of it, heights are beginning to rise a little bit. We're raising the heights slightly to our north. This low pressure is a trough. So top of the country and the jet stream is starting to dig a little bit further south. This is the start of that cold scenario that we saw within the GFS summer for this midnight operational GFS run. That's how it looked at day 10, with the low pressure right over top of the country, still very unsettled. And then the low pressure begins to slip away to our south and east, and we start to build up higher pressure towards Iceland and Greenland. That starts to allow cold air to begin to dig in towards Scandinavia. So we go beyond day 10. By the way, that's how the upper air temperature is looking there, very mild at day 10. But we go beyond day 10 and we start to get this high pressure developing around Greenland and Iceland. It begins to pull the winds into this east or northeast direction. Cold air is now surging southwards across Scandinavia. And as the wind begins to tilt a bit northeast, it starts to allow that colder air to begin to move towards the North Sea. So there's the upper air temperatures for this day, Thursday 24th of October. We're a really long way out. Remember, this is an outlier. It wasn't supported really by any other GFS ensemble member. But you see cold air is just starting to dig in towards Scotland, and proper cold air surging southwards over Scandinavia. And then by the time we get through to Friday 25th of October, we're putting in east or northeasterly winds with this high pressure sitting to the north of Scotland. Cold air is digging in from the east and from the northeast. That's how we looked at the end of that midnight GFS run on Sunday, 27th of October. A proper east or northeast, probably cold enough to be bringing wintry showers onto the east coast, maybe some snow showers to higher ground. And there's the upper air temperature showing a -5 Celsius isotherm is pushed through the country. That's pretty cold for late October. As I say, it was a very significant outlier. If we come back here, we can see that basically no other GFS run was doing what that operational GFS run was doing at that time frame. We did have a bit of a colder member there for a day or so, and there's this line just here that may be doing something similar, or may have done something similar to what the GFS operational midnight run did. But essentially it was unsupported. You can see how much further away it is from all other ensemble members. Most of them are up here. So big outlier, but it's the first one of the season, so I thought I'd throw it in there for you to have a look at that. I wonder how many more cold outliers we'll get through this season. I suspect there will be quite a few. There normally is most winters, but very rarely do they verify. This is how the latest GFS run is looking, which is the 6 o'clock run. And this one with low pressure again, close to the country on Monday, going to bring showers or longer spells of rain. And then through next week, wet and windy weather pushes in from off the Atlantic, taking us into a very unsettled spell as we go up towards day 10. Low pressure continue to drive in off the Atlantic, no doubt bringing further showers, if not longer spells of rain. It's going to be a very wet October, I think. I don't think there's anything to stop this October now being the wettest that we've had for many years. So we're probably going to have the wettest, I would have thought, certainly since 2012. We may beat that and actually have the wettest since 2004 or even 2000. So will be interesting when we get to the end of the month to see just how wet it has been. But I can't say anything really to stop it from turning out to be a very significantly wetter than average October. Anyway, that's how we look at day 10, which is Monday 21st. And again, low pressure is in control of weather, bringing further showers, if not longer spells of rain. We start to get a little bump of high pressure then building in as that low exits away to the east. We just begin to build up a slight ridge. It will be quite a cool ridge though. But it's not long before the next low is rattling in from the Atlantic, just flattening off that ridge. And this time we start to then go into a bit of a northerly. So it's nowhere near as cold this as the midnight GFS run was, but we've got to the 25th of October, suggestion of a little bit of a cold snap coming through there before the ridge then begins to build back in from the Atlantic once again. Probably again within quite chilly air, so I would have thought there'd be a risk of night frost if nothing else. GEM is looking like that, so rather showery, rather unsettled on Monday. More rain to come early next week, then wet and windy through the middle part of next week with this low pressure driving in off the Atlantic. The GEM is building up a bit of a Scandinavian high, you'll notice. GFS doesn't really show that as we move up towards day 10. We get to day 10, that's how we're looking. So gradually the heights are building to the north and to the east of us. It's a warm ridge, so it's no particularly cold air within that. I can show you the upper air temperatures. So it's a relatively warm ridge. I mean, it's a bit on the chilly side, I suppose. We've got the 0 Celsius isotherm through the UK. There's no really sort of cold air, certainly nothing to produce wintry showers or anything like that. But probably, if skies are clear, you might get some frost with that by night, and it could also be a relatively foggy sort of scenario as well, that actually again it would depend on whether the skies are clear, whether there's a lot of cloud, but fog could be a little bit widespread there as we get to day 10 on the GM. And then the ECMWF is looking like this. Low pressure bringing showers or longer spells of rain early next week. Wet and windy through the middle part of next week. Then into those showery westerly winds into the end of next week. Heading up towards day 10. A bit different again, so there's quite a bit of uncertainty by the time we get to day 10. This one looks quite unsettled, particularly for the north, with a fair amount of rain on Monday 21st of October. But down in the south, it's a little bit drier. And this is probably the warmest of all options for day 10 as well. The upper air temperatures here are actually looking quite warm, especially for England and Wales, where we've got 10 Celsius Iceland. That may be enough to get temperatures to around 20 degrees, given a bit of sunshine in London. So it looks changeable, certainly up to day 10, but by the time we get to day 10, perhaps a few hints of a little bit of a change in the weather pattern. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensembles for day 10. Today, from the Icelandic Met Office, this of course is the 21st of October. It includes the control and the operational run. These 21 just here looking unsettled with below average heights out to northwest, above average heights down to southwest. So the ridge is building in, but still with low pressure out to the northwest. So certainly for northern parts, it's actually quite unsettled. A little bit drier though down in the south. Then we've got another 17 just there that have high pressure around Greenland and Iceland. So they're hinting at more of a northern blocking type situation, perhaps similar to what the GFS midnight run was doing in some ways, with below average heights to our south. That could be a bit of a colder type scenario. Winds in from the northeast, for the south probably quite wet. And then another 13 members of the eastern ensembles with high pressure out to our west. So they're bringing in west and northwesterly winds, a little bit drier, especially so for England and Wales in 2 weeks' time. These are the options that we've got, taking us to the 26th of October. 15 members of the eastern ensembles with above average heights out to our northwest, and winds coming in sort of from a northerly direction. 14 with low pressure up towards Greenland and Iceland. A ridge over the top of the country with these, actually. High pressure is sitting over and to the east of us, so that's much more settled scenario. 13 with a Scandinavian high. They're going to be bringing in quite chilly easterly winds, and then 9 looking very unsettled with this deep trough of low pressure over the top of the country. It looks as though as we get towards the final week of October, we're still seeing this idea of high pressure becoming more influential, but exactly where that high is sitting, very much to be determined. This is how the CFS V2 is forecasting November today. This is the 700 millibar height anomaly from the CFS V2 for November. It's going for above average heights to be over and just to the west-southwest, just below average heights up to the north, and then below average heights extending through Scandinavia into eastern parts of Europe. The jet stream will be doing something a little bit like that. So for Scandinavia and for Eastern Europe, that could actually be quite a coldish November. That could see early winter sort of digging in across the northeast and the east of Europe. For us, with close outreach of high pressure, probably relatively dry month if that came off, and relatively mild as well, because the wind is pulling in from off the Atlantic Ocean. It won't take that much of an adjustment though to start to pull down colder air from the north or northwest. So you have to take that high pressure a little bit further west into the Atlantic, and it could become a little bit cooler. Temperature anomalies for November today from CFS being forecast to be above average, and no particular signal for precipitation, looking very close to average there. Finally, I did say at the start of the video we'd have something about winter, so we have had the latest update from the UK Met Office GLOSY 5 long-range model today. It's just been updated, and this is the mean sea level pressure anomaly from the UK Met Office model for the winter, for December, January, February, winter 2019-2020, issued in October 2019. And if you want a cold winter, get behind the settee, because it doesn't get any worse than that. If you would like a cold winter, there's absolutely no northern blocking whatsoever. We've got all of those blue colours sitting within the northern latitudes. A strong ridge from the Azores through the Atlantic into Spain and Portugal and into the Mediterranean. The contrast between the low pressure within the northern latitudes and the high pressure from the Azores to Spain is producing a very, very positive AO and NAO type combination, and also a strong jet stream, of course. The jet stream is through here. So it just looks incredibly zonal, that really, really zonal, mild, wet and windy winter coming up with shades perhaps of winter of 2013-14 even, if that was to come off. Now the only saving grace, of course, is that it's a long range model, so there's a big element of doubt about that, of course. It's still only October as well, so any forecast, particularly from a model beyond 5 to 7 days, is going to come with a big health warning. But that is a very, very zonal looking winter, I have to say, winter of 2019-2020, and it is in line with what a lot of the long range output is showing at the moment. And we're going to do the second seasonal model roundup for winter of 2019-2020 on the last Saturday of this month. I think that's going to be sometime around the 26th, perhaps 26th of October. Let's go back to the GFS. We'll be able to get that date in. So yeah, that will be the Friday 25th, Saturday 26th. So yeah, that will be Saturday 26th of October, where we have the second seasonal model roundup for the winter of 2019-2020. All of the long range models together for that, and a lot of those models I expect are going to show a similar sort of trend to what the UK Met Office is showing there. So I would think they're all picking up on the same thing, probably, these models, but of course that doesn't necessarily mean they're all right. It could mean that they are all picking up on the wrong signal. And we'll just wait and see. But I thought we'd finish off with that anyway. It's going to cause a lot of comment, I would have thought, on the forums and on social media. So I thought we'd include it in the video today. Why not? So that's it for your videos for today. Now, tomorrow, the weekend forecast will be up a little bit earlier than normal. Normally, I get that up around 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It'll be a little bit earlier. And then the second video update tomorrow will be a bit later. I'm going to have a busy day for a few hours tomorrow anyway. So the weekend forecast will be quite early, mid-morning time, and then the second video update, which is 10-day video update, will be probably quite late, sort of late afternoon, early evening sort of time. That's tomorrow. Sunday, we've got the 7th Winter 2019-2020 update coming up for you. So that will be another epic, I'm quite sure, and that will be up on 10 AM on Sunday. Of course, there'll be a live chat on the YouTube channel about that winter update between 5 and 6 o'clock on Sunday. We're actually building up a little bit of a regular audience of that, I think. So definitely another live chat about that 7th winter 2019-2020 update on between 5 and 6 o'clock on YouTube. On Sunday. Right, so busy weekend of updates coming up. Do keep checking back for all of them. But that's all for now, and thanks for watching.